Hello there. I hope you're having a wonderful time. This is Nohu Nui Singjano Ayuba, and we're here live once again on Facebook. And this time we will talk a little bit about women in Nigeria. It is of interest that development must must include all spheres in the society, and to discuss this important topic in the house, we have Abigail Musa Gindaus. She's going to introduce herself. Actually, this is not a very, how can I say, formal platform. So there wouldn't be any formalities of presentations, let's say, utopia. We wouldn't talk about maybe, let's say, an ideal discussion here. We wouldn't talk about theories. We wouldn't talk about so many things that are really constructed. So we would like talk, hit the nail on the head, and on this discussion. Okay, so let me invite our guest speaker, who is room, and okay, so we're gonna take a comment from our viewers. We'll take comments and questions as we continue with the discussion. Check accept participation of the people down there in Nigeria or any part of the world, wherever you are watching us live, because it's very important that we discuss some issues. I can't call it an issue; it's a necessity actually, because it has to do with us ourselves. When we are talking about women, we're not just talking about a group of people. We're not talking about separation of the society, as so many people might think. So many people think that when we discuss some issues, we're trying to separate the society, but that is not the real fact. It's important that if we identify some problems or some defects in the way we run things in society, we're supposed to address them. So I want to welcome Abigail live on this platform. Abigail, can you present yourself, please?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Um, you're really doing an amazing job. Really, keep up the good work, Nuhu. So, as Nuhu said, my name is Abigail Musa, and I'm based in Brazil, but originally from Nigeria. I'm a computer engineer, and I was born and raised in Nigeria, Bauchi State to be precise. I'm the first of 6 children, and I have 5 amazing siblings. So I'm really glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine. So what is this? What is it? How is it like to be the first of? You said you have how many siblings?
5.
So how is it? How is it? Is it challenging to be the first of the 5 siblings?
Okay. I would say yes. To a
Okay.
certain extent, yes. Because being the first child, like you kind of shoulder a lot of responsibilities. Like some things like your younger ones will always look up to you. You have to like give good examples for them to follow, and you kind of have to be responsible because most times, especially in the African context, you're made to take care of your younger ones, especially when you are female. It's like you're their second mother, as we say in Nigeria. So yeah, that's not easy, but at the same time, it kind of makes you be more responsible to a certain extent, even though that largely depends on the choices you make as a person, irrespective of your gender. But it kind of helps you to be more responsible because you know that oh, my younger ones are always looking up to me. Oh, my parents kind of put me in charge of my siblings sometimes. So that kind of helps. It helps.
Okay, that's nice. So I have some few questions. As a young Nigerian,
Okay.
also a male Nigerian, we have different realities, and I believe that you can share, some of your experiences with us. So, do you think in Nigeria, for example, in general, we have a healthy relationship, with women?
Okay, that's a very good question. Well, I don't think so. I don't think Nigeria as a whole has a healthy relationship with women because the Nigerian society in itself is chauvinistic
Okay,
in the sense that it almost always favors the men more than the women. It kind of favors the men and in some way diminishes the women. So, and I'm aware that this the marginalization of women in general is a worldwide phenomenon, but is more pronounced in developing countries like Nigeria. So, and this has really constrained women in so many aspects, in so many spheres of life. Example, in the workplace, at home, in school, and every other place you can think of. So women have really been at the receiving end of this, uh, I wouldn't say bad behavior, but the negative sides of these things. And the other thing is that this has been going on for decades. And if you look at this closely, it's kind of linked to our African tradition because really some traditions and even some religion kind of back up all this idea of women's subjugation, like the man is higher than the woman, they're not equal and stuff. But there is studies have shown that women, especially those that are in the rural areas, tend to suffer more of this in terms of employment opportunities, in terms of access to social resources, in terms of education and financial decisions. However, this is a little bit better for the women in the
okay,
I would say that the tides are a bit fairer for them, especially those that are in the formal workplaces. But these women still face torrential storm when climbing the career ladder, for instance, in Nigeria. Well, I'm not generalizing, just to put this out there, but some instance when a woman rises to be the CEO of a company, she's suspected of sleeping with the board members and doing every other thing but hard work. Whereas if it's a man, sometimes they just, oh, yeah, he deserved it, like he earned it. But I don't get. I would say like you kind of see this subjugation, this marginalization, either subtly or or sometimes it can be very glaring, but it's still there. So women still face it. That's why I do not think that the Nigerian society has a healthy relationship with women. I think it needs to do more. It needs to do better.
okay. What about you said there are, yeah, you made it clear that there is no healthy relationship. Something keeps worrying me. Why is it that the women are still silent? Why is it that Nigerian women are silent? They are always silent. You try to hear out. You go to the social media, for example. You see men talking about women,
Yeah.
linked to money, for example, that they have interest, in people. And you never see women manifesting. What's happening?
Okay. Okay. Let me say it this way. Actually, this, as I said earlier, this is a phenomenon, this marginalization, this women issue, basically. But I would say that, yeah, like a few years back, like some decades ago, that has been the case. Women have been so silent about all the things, all the inequalities they've been facing. But right now, I would say like 5 years ago or more, things have started changing. Like women are now more aware of their rights. Because I would say maybe in the last decades, like last 2 decades, they weren't as aware of their rights as they are now. Even due to the influence of the outside world, like the Western world. So women are more aware and they are starting to actually go for what is rightfully theirs. I wouldn't say we're still there yet, but we're improving. We aren't where we were before. So, and another thing that causes that, I think, is that aside the men kind of not playing their parts well, because some men actually do, just that a majority
Okay.
doesn't. But aside that, some women actually aren't in support of each other. Instead of helping and empowering each other to be better versions of themselves, they end up tearing each other down, always bashing each other. So that kind of delays the process of getting there. The feminism, inequality, all these social constructs, all these movements. So I think, to me, that's what I think the times we're in, which has really helped. And it will be better if all women can join heads together, rub minds together, and work at it. Because just like we say, united we stand, divided we women don't unite themselves and do that. It will take us longer than normal to get there.
Okay. Do you think that's the solution? Don't you think the men, for example, they need to engage in this dialogue? Because if the women should unite themselves and build a strong groups, like
Yeah.
helping themselves, don't you think that would kind of cause a disequilibrium in the society?
I didn't quite get you. Can you come
Yeah,
again,
I
please?
mean, don't you think that the engagement of the men, for example, if we're saying that women have a problem in society, it's because we have men.
Yeah.
So don't you think there should be an engagement through the parties?
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. That was the first point I made. Maybe I didn't really elaborate on it. Yeah, certainly the men have a role to play because, as we all know, I'm sure you know that as well, being a Nigerian
Of course,
yourself,
of
that our
course.
Nigerian
I
society
know,
is
I know, I know.
highly chauvinistic and patriarchal. Like it favors the men. So the men needs to do that as well. They need to know that first of before being a man or a woman, we all are humans and we deserve to be treated equally. And please do not get me wrong. I'm not saying a man and a woman are the same. I'm not advocating for sameness. No, they aren't the same and can never be. I'm just saying they should have equal rights and opportunities. And one of the ways, I think there are various ways whereby the men would help in this. One of the ways is really by them trying to gauge, like, let us just have this same equalities in terms of employment, in terms of education, and every other thing. Aside that, I think there should be laws enacted and put in place to help check that, because without the laws it wouldn't be taken seriously, or as seriously as it should. So there should be laws. And yeah, and we should also look into our traditions, because frankly speaking, I think that traditions are man-made, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like they are supposed to work for us and not the other way around. Because if you look at it, some of these things are highly backed up and justified by our traditions and even some religions. Now, I'm not saying that these traditions are wrong in their entirety, no, but I feel like there has to be some changes here and there. We shouldn't be following some things blindly without looking into them more thoroughly. So I think that would help. And also the enlightenment, creating more awareness to both the men and the women. The men and the women, and especially the women, they need to be aware of their rights. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it for now.
Yeah, yeah. Well said. Well said. So, talking about, it's not easy, actually. I may affirm that it's not easy to talk about women in Nigeria.
Yeah.
What do you think is difficult, to talk about women? Although we know that they are, if I can, if I may, I'm not mistaken, the most important, part of a society, because women build the society. Without women, we wouldn't have the society, I would say. So, why is it difficult for us to talk about women?
Okay. Um, it's extremely difficult. It's difficult because of patriarchy. I think to me is the major culprit because um, patriarchy is what kind of is the norm, or I would say the movement, or even to a certain extent a way of life that kind of values men above women, and it diminishes women as the weaker. Well, women are the weaker sex, yes, but it kind of diminishes them in such an absurd way. It's almost as if some women are owned, like they're almost like properties, they're like objectified, and all that was fueled by patriarchy.
Okay.
So I think the major problem why it's extremely hard for such discussions to be held in Nigeria as they should be, because they're being held just that not as they should be. It's just patriarchy and male chauvinism. Male chauvinism, which is like it's basically the male child is favored more. The male child gets away with so many things. The male child thinks that he's better. The male child is like chauvinism is accepted and even celebrated like in such an it's really sad. It's very sad, but like the role is like the primary role of women is just be a mother and just some basic lesser jobs like that. And I'm not saying that is wrong. I know that women are more suitable to do certain things. Women are more nurturing and stuff, but still I feel like women have the capacity to do a lot more, much more than the opportunities they are given.
Okay. Okay.
I hope I'm making
Yeah, yeah.
sense.
You're speaking your mind. That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. So, talking
Yeah.
about the, you said there's something rooted, right? Let's say the lack of opportunity that the women have. Where is it rooted? Is it in culture, religion? I don't know. I try to understand that. But because as a man, we find it, sometimes we're reluctant about this important, problem. And I tried to imagine when I came here to Brazil, I started imagining, where is the problem, rooted. So I want to ask you, from your own, vision, where do you think the problem is?
Okay. Well, I may be wrong, but this is just my perspective.
Okay.
To me, I feel like it's rooted in two major things: traditions
Okay.
and some religions. Why do I say tradition? Because, for instance, in Nigeria, if you look at the some like traditions, some cultures like that, I would also say that yeah, I would also add that maybe family background could add to it.
Okay.
But first of traditions, you see like from ages like from like maybe the last century or last 2 centuries, what were the roles of women? Just to stay at home. Basically, like it's like the life of the woman. Her life is like a cycle. She's born, grows up, goes to school a bit or not, and then she has to bag the title of Mrs. when she attains the so-called marriageable age, which isn't bad. But you see, when you look at some stories that we've seen in the past that have been written and so forth, you tend to see that women, they just, when they marry, they just stay at home and bear the children while the man goes to work. He's the sole provider. The woman also always like she has to do the cooking, take care of the house, bears the children so that they can all go to the farm. I think the most they used to do then was just to go to the farm and work. So like she doesn't have any say in family issues. She doesn't partake in anything serious like political or not. She doesn't basically her whole role is just to take care of the home and the kids and to raise them. So that kind of shows you some form of relegation if you look at it closely. So but and if you check it, up till today, this still happens in some cultures. I can't go on mentioning them by name because we know that Nigeria is a multicultural country and it has, like, we have, I don't know, so many ethnic groups. So that's kind of hard to be precise, but
ethnic groups.
yeah.
Yeah, more than 500
Yeah.
languages. To be precise, I think
Yeah.
521, if I'm not mistaken, or 600
Yeah.
or 521 languages. So yeah, it
And
can
each is distinct and peculiar, has its peculiarities.
right.
So, but if you look at it, like the only women that I would say were like warriors were like Queen Amina and all the rest that we've seen in the stories. So that's why I feel like this still happens. Even like in my place, I'm from Des. When you go to Des, there are still families like that, especially those who aren't very educated like that. The woman only like stays at home. She's basically a stay-home mom, takes care of the kids, goes to the farm and do like all that is, or maybe she could knit or something or learn how to sew, but she doesn't really do much more than that. And in terms of religion, this is a very dicey issue. I don't want to go
It's
too much
very
into
delicate.
religion, but really, yeah, it's very dicey. But really, some religions kind of it's not even subtle, it's very glaring that there's a huge gap between a man and a woman, between what a man can do and what a woman can do, between like in terms of family, in terms of education, in terms of even what the choices that the couple in question chooses to make. You see that very clearly in some religions. So that's why I think that, and also, yeah, family background, because I feel like, in as much as we have these deep seated issues, which are highly justified by religion, by some religions and traditions, we still have families who kind of opt not to follow those rules. And most of the people, I'm not saying that those who follow religion 100% are not educated, but from what I've seen and noticed, most of the people that follow it almost blindly are those who aren't as educated. Because as I said, it should work for us and not against us. We made it, we created it, so it should work for us.
That's great. That's great. So let's see
Yeah.
who is with us. We have Mahdi Abubakar is watching us. We have Mari Cardozo is Brazilian. She's watching us. Fernando Pedro Diaz
Okay.
is also here with us. We have David Engo Pia is also watching. José Oliveira, my big
Nice.
uncle. Pangmi Garba is also with us. We have Lustanio Pereira is also with us. We have Oliveira Liro. Ezea Cuprez is
Yeah.
also here. Onginelli is also here with us. We have many friends online, accompanying us. In the commentary
Yeah.
session, also section, we also have, we have some few comments. Oliveira Liro is saying very good.
Mm-hmm.
Lusitano Pereira is well done, my sister. So That's really great. Okay, we expect questions
Yeah,
from our viewers, please. You can forward your questions. We're very interested, in discussing this issue. Although it's going to be very something simple, here, but we hope that people will start, talking about women. The society is
yep,
developing, and we've seen, without an equilibrium, it's going to be very difficult to get to attain heights that are supposed to be attained by our societies. Inclusion is very important. It's not just inclusion, but getting, a sense, of let's say, sense of justice. You know, we're not just different
yeah,
in the society; we are together. So why, having a group discriminated? So let's talk about that. Very important. So moving further, Abigail, let's talk about your experience here in Brazil. What is different? What are the things that you admire, you admired when you came here? Can you share with us?
yeah, sure. Okay, first off, what I notice here is that Brazilians are very liberal on so many levels. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So like they're very liberal, like oh gosh, but they're liberal.
Okay.
And one thing I really like here is that the gap between a man and a woman has kind of been leveled up. You don't really get to sense the difference. Oh, I'm a man, I can do this. Like here, whatever a man can do, a woman can do as well, which I think that is really good. And it's not as if both sexes are same, no, but they're just in terms of capabilities, in terms of opportunities, in terms of like in terms of the rights, basic human rights, and the ones that aren't as basic to the ones those that you give to the same that you give to a man will also be given to a woman, which I feel like is really nice. Like I don't get to see this, and yeah, and I think that this has really helped the women because sometimes, as I said, a problem can kind of make you a bit backward in life is lack of opportunities. Sometimes when you have the opportunity to dream big and not only dream big but work hard to attain your goals, it helps you become something in life. It helps you to be financially free and not go through some things in life because sometimes I feel like some women um when they are not financially stable, for instance, they tend to take a lot, they tend to stay in abusive relationships, they tend to take a lot because they can't go anywhere else because they are dependent on the man for financial stability, for every other thing. So they have to just take it and be patient. But I feel like when you have when you're financially stable yourself as a woman, that kind of helps. And mind you, I'm not advocating for divorce or anything of that sort, but I'm just saying some things like being financially free kind of curbs some things. So yeah, I really like that about here. I like the fact that here, even though this that I'm saying here, even here in Brazil, is not 100% that is always like this, but it's really high. I like the fact that there are laws enacted, laws that are already in place to help the girl child against sexual harassment, against any form of inequality or any form of discrimination. So, and the guys are fully aware of that. And whenever such thing happens, because the girls here, the women here are fully aware of their rights and they know what to do when anyone infringes on their basic rights. So the guys don't try because they know what will happen. There is the famous Maria da Penha, which really helps with that. I feel like it would be really good if we have such laws in Nigeria, even though we do have them, but they're kind of vague sometimes. So I like the fact that they are more contained here. I like the fact that a woman can be as ambitious as she can be, because for some reason, for some weird reason in Nigeria, it's almost as if being ambitious is inversely proportional to not being submissive. Like I really don't get who or how they came about this, but yeah. And the women here, I like the fact that they support each other. They are go-getters. Like women, you tend to see women in high positions that you are just like, wow, this is so encouraging. It feels so good to see a woman in certain positions. Like like she actually got there by hard work. I really like seeing that. And something else that I really like here, I think this one, I don't know if I should say this one is typically African,
What?
but you know, like in a house, I don't know about you, like thankfully in my house is not like that, but in a house whereby a couple has um, boys and girls, there are certain things, certain household chores that the boys don't do for some reason. The boys don't cook, they don't wash plates, um, and other things. And the girls can't do something as basic as owning the chain, for instance. So I feel like here I don't get to see that, even because, for instance, eating is something we all do. So you having that basic skill will be of importance, will be of help to you as a person, irrespective of your gender. So I really like it that they don't have this difference between when raising boys and girls. Obviously, there will be some very particular differences, but I'm saying in basic life skills, in basic things, you don't see the difference. The boy child doesn't get away with a lot. Like both sexes, both genders are held responsible and accountable for their actions and reactions, which I feel like is a good thing. Um, yeah, I really like this about here and so many other things.
That's great. That's great. So going back to Nigeria, what point,
Yeah.
what credit would you give, would you attribute to Nigeria? Uh, what is admirable, in terms of women in Nigeria? I know that not everything, is bad about the treatment of women, participation of women.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good, and how can we make it, let's say, better?
Okay. First off, this problem of raising boys and girls differently, I think it's really improving. I've seen that in some homes. It's really improving. The fact that the women are becoming more aware of their rights is also good. The fact that laws are being enacted, more laws are being enacted and even enforced to kind of curb the issues we have pertaining sexual harassment and the like, the likes. I'm also happy to see like women joining politics and doing really well for themselves, being role models and the rest. Um, because in Nigeria we have amazing women who are doing well for themselves, like Ngozi Ikonjo-Iweala, like Amina Mohammed. We have Chimamanda, a renowned writer. Like these women are doing good. They're doing really well for themselves.
Some of them here.
I can see the pictures. We have, is it Dorothy something? I don't
Yeah,
remember her name. The late
since
Dorothy.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was
I'm
retired.
happy to see. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So,
So
but do you think,
I'm really happy to see that.
yeah. But do you think we've gone further? Let's say in a decade, when you were talking about women in Nigeria, do you think we've gone, further? I don't
Okay,
know
you
how to
mean in
put it.
time
Uh, 10
if we
years,
have improved?
yes, 10 years back, if you measure, have we gone further a little bit or not? We're still in the same point.
Okay. Frankly speaking, I think we have.
Okay.
Why? Because I I see women doing a lot more than they used to do or they were allowed to do before in politics. Like 10 to 20 years ago, you hardly see women in politics, but right now you see women, and that's kind of new in Nigeria, which is really good. You see women attain going out for the so-called male-dominated jobs. You tend to see more women in engineering, more women as CEOs, more women like doing really well, being this like doing really well career-wise. So I think that has really improved. They are not only relegated to the kitchen. So I feel like, and um,
So cutting you,
this has really helped.
yeah, let me cut you short.
Okay.
Talking about
Okay.
some jobs, or let's say some formations that were really, separated for the males. So you studied computer engineering, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask, during your studies, how did you see the environment? Were they did you have many women participating? It's still, that strange, let's say, that strange, quote.
Okay. Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, even here,
Okay.
okay, engineering, you get to see more women here, but there are certain engineerings that are there are less women. For instance, my own case, I think is one of the engineering that has the lowest number of women, I would say. So like in my whole in our department, I think the women, I don't know, are we up to 50? Or maybe, no, not even 50. I think maybe 20 or thereabout. In like,
Out
so
out of
really,
what? Out of what number?
I mean 20 women in total.
Out of how many total? Yeah, you said 20 out of.
Okay. Let me be more precise. Let's assume we have a set that has maybe 10 people or 15. Get to find like two or max four women. Those that really go to the finals, because you know how they do it. They start but they don't get, they end up changing,
Of
switching,
course.
changing course. So that's it really here. But and really sometimes you could, like at first, let me just say this, in my own experience, at first I was like, oh my god, you are always amongst boys, and you know sometimes boys tend to do their things differently. So but eventually I got used to it, and today I feel absolutely normal. I'm so used to it being amongst boys. So but at first it wasn't easy because it just wasn't easy. You've been in a new place trying to adapt, and still you have this additional. So, but it helps. It helps because I feel like in a place whereby there is diversity, there are both genders. I think things tend to work a lot better than they would have if it was only one gender that was there. If that makes sense. So yeah,
Okay, okay. So,
just that. Yeah, something else. Just a quick one.
all right.
Sometimes the only thing I even used to think to myself is just you have the risk of almost turning into a tomboy, like because you're always with guys and try to do things like them and stuff. But aside that, it has more advantages than it disadvantages.
That's nice. That's nice. So, uh, I may not, really find it difficult to put it this way. Sometimes we, as the Africans, we tend to be conservative. We try to like conserve some cultures, even though we know that they are rancid. There are cultures that do not do us good. So, what are some of the things that you think we do there that that, you know, you feel bad about them, actually, that we insist in doing them, for example, towards women.
You mean back home or here?
Yeah, back home. Back home.
The things we do, I didn't quite get you.
Yeah, some things that you personally, you think they're not right, you know, and we insist in doing them. We like, say, for example, when we talk about equality in Nigeria, uh, a question of, let's say, uh, a question of region, you know, rises, a question of religion rises, a question of ethnical differences or division, you know, rises. And you
Okay.
find a certain group dominating in a certain region, and it doesn't permit a kind of modification, or let's say for the other, the smaller group to rise and also, you know, be engaged in participate, be engaged in the development of that society. So we tend to maintain some certain standards. Let's say women, it's limited to, let's say, the kitchen. I'm being rude, you know, I'm being straight. It's not, we are not supposed to make that affirmation. In Brazil, you make such affirmation, you're almost done, you know. So, but in Nigeria, we still have people, you know, that have guts to say things of that nature. So, and they have room of, you know, to do that. Actually, they come over, they think that they can decide. They want to talk to you. They want to talk for you. They want to speak for you. You know. So I think there may be some personal things that you think, you know, you don't think that are right in Nigeria. So I would like you to share with us. Maybe someone listening over there, you know, they get something.
Okay. Before I go on, I just saw a comment. Someone said that he would like to share some points. Gamma, a classmate of ours. Maybe you could check the comment section. Um, such things happen,
Okay.
but I think that kind of boils down to the choices a person chooses to make. Because let's even assume in the scenario that you painted, like certain regions tend to kind of favor their own people, and maybe irrespective of gender. So I feel it would really be good if we all know, if we all knew our rights and what to do when a person infringes on them. So I just feel like it boils down to the right stuff and the personal choices a person makes. Because really, some things in Nigeria, this should be a no-brainer actually, but some things aren't black and white. Like you can't just say it's like this because there are a lot of other factors to be considered for you um, to get to a certain conclusion because some answers aren't as generic. Because, for instance, if I'm to tell you this, maybe what I will say might not work in other places in Nigeria, but really, I feel like when we know our rights and when there are laws in place, some things will be curbed, some things would stop being there. Because you see it here, like just like you rightly said, you can't just walk up to a
Yeah.
lady and tell her, oh,
No, of
you should be in the kitchen. You'll be sued and you will regret ever uttering that.
course, of course.
So you
So,
get
so
why? Because of
do you
their
think,
rights.
okay, let me cut you there. Do you think it's right
Mm,
to get to that
feel free.
point, or you think we are supposed to, you know, we are supposed to get a kind of get it right? We can't take, you know, Brazil for let's say to be an example. We can't take most of the countries in Europe or Asia or even the big United States. We can't call them an example to us because they enact laws. So as Africans, I think we have a better look, of of things, because we find ourselves in difficult situations, and as as far as I'm concerned, that is a factor that can motivate, the behavior, or let's say can change the behavior of the African man himself, to engage himself in the
To do
construction of
better.
a better society. See? So I don't think we should get to that point of enacting laws, that punishes people for, let's say, the male gender, against women, violation.
Okay.
Recently, the question, the issue of rape, has taken. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
sadly.
accompany that. So you have, it's not supposed to go that way. It's not because we have, let's say, biologically the man, is strong. Doesn't mean that he has the right, to do some things. We are all people, and we have, sense of reasoning. So that's what makes
Yeah.
us different from other animals. Okay. So yeah, I don't
Okay,
think.
let me just add.
Okay.
Let me just say a quick one. Let me just add this. What I meant by saying, by talking about the laws, I don't mean we should just do copy and paste. Obviously, every society has its peculiarities. I'm saying that we can learn from them,
Okay.
but it should be more suited to our own realities in Nigeria. Do you get? Like the laws are good to help keep things in check, but it should be more suited to our reality. It shouldn't just be copy and paste, because I don't think the US or Brazil is as multicultural as Nigeria.
Of
So
course.
you need to take some things into consideration. We need to take things like parameters like our diversity, our ethnic groups, family background, our religion, and even these traditions that I've been talking about. We need to take all of these things into consideration while enacting the laws. That was what I was trying to say when I talked about the laws.
Okay, let's see the commentary section. Okay, we have Lusitania. Now you are studying computer engineering in Brazil. Do you think your knowledge is in advanced studies in computer engineering can contribute to the
Uh,
empowerment of girls in Nigeria, or women in Nigeria? So I think it's a question. I don't know. It's not that clear.
okay,
Yeah.
that's a. Can I talk?
Yeah, you can speak.
Okay. Thank you, Lusitania. I actually know Lusitania. Thank you for the question. Yes, I think so. Because just by the, like, just for the fact that I am here, I've seen how, I've seen and felt how it is to know my rights and be fully aware of them. So, and yes, in my course, yes, it will help because right now I think I'm in a place whereby I would be able to encourage girls who would want to go into dominated fields like engineering and the likes. I think I'm in a good place where I'll be able to encourage them to go for it, to actually dream big and go for their dreams, to like make the maximum use of the opportunities they're given, to actually do well for themselves, to be aware of their rights. Like there are some things, the importance of consent, especially in regarding sex and things pertaining that. Um, Basically, these things I think I don't have. I wouldn't say right. I have a particular thing in mind about this, but I think based on my own experiences, I'll be able to proffer good advice and possibly help the girls make better choices and decisions for themselves.
That's nice. That's nice. And yeah, I would like to contribute. Although I'm
Okay, feel free.
the interviewer, but sometimes
Sure.
we find it very. There was a time I was writing stuff. I've been writing so many things, about Nigeria. And, we used to talk then, and people thought, oh, it's very difficult to be to, let's say, to to get along with a Nigerian lady that has been educated. So sometimes when you are in a higher post or in a position, you have a higher education. So many people have this stigma. They have this fear that no, I can't relate, relate with that person. So I want to tell the people, most especially my Nigerian friends, that it's totally different actually, because when you go outside Nigeria, you find a place where people relate. You have women, some women, they kind of help men, doing things, and there is this mutual respect. There's nothing
Yeah.
like kind of domination, like how we think or we see things. So that makes some women, to fear like attaining heights in life. So it makes them, have this lower, profile. They don't want to study. Even if they study, they don't want to occupy, higher positions. And to the women,
Yeah.
I think we should talk to the women. We should kind of tell them, that, because when you see the lady is too passive in Nigeria, we're not talking about being active like we have in many countries, being, trying to divide the society, creating strong groups that
No.
they attack men without reason. We're talking about
Nope.
women that have value, women that discuss, the problems of the society, trying to seek for solution, try to seek for, space that really, let's say, are really theirs. So I think we
Yeah.
should, give a word of advice to some of the ladies back there. Let's continue.
Yeah. I think you've basically said it all about the advice. But really, that's it. I think we have a lot to do in this aspect. We have a long way to go, but eventually, with more thoughts as this and more awareness being made to both genders and especially the girls, I think we'll get there.
Okay.
Slowly but surely, we'll get there.
But yeah, we're just chatting. We expect, people to participate. We expect people to comment if they have doubts.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be fear. Why should we fear if is progress is, we're progressing? We shouldn't be scared that we will, let's say, share the society, with people that that have always been important but underground in the society. You know, there is no Nigeria without women. There is no Africa without women, no America without women. So, in any part of the world, I think women are supposed to be discussed in a
Yeah.
special way, not just to, put them above men, let's say. we have this we have this wrong perception. People, like, if they're fighting for right, instead of fighting for equality, they want to go, they want to dominate. So we're not talking about
Yeah.
this kind of relationship. We're talking about women that can, do things in the society, that can support people in the society, that can contribute actively in the society, because we all have the same sense of reasoning. If before we used to use strength as men, you know, male child, it was a privilege to have a male child, in the past. But today we don't need to have that strength, because it has been transferred. The way we do things, is now more intellectually. We win wars, in thousands of kilometers. We just throw missiles. So we don't need strength. We don't need soldiers to line up and destroy the other group. So we just need the head, to function. So that is why we call this period, or this era, the era of advancement, of progress. as
Information.
things to be changed, they're supposed to be
Yeah.
harder. So I think this is a little bit, unfortunate. As far as I'm concerned, I was transformed when I came here. I had the mentality, a different mentality when I was living in Nigeria. But when I came here, I saw so many things that are so good that I wouldn't call it a Western influence, because what is good is good. There is nothing like Western culture or something, an influence. When we're talking about something that is good, it's good for everyone. So that is what I have to say. So Abigail, I think I don't know if you have some final words before moving on. Right,
Yes, I do. Uh,
right.
yeah, you spoke well. Really, just want to say this before going on to my final words that right now we have so many movements around about feminism and the different facets to it.
All right.
And some women, feminism is not a fight against men or to overpower men or anything of that nature, but it's just a fight geared towards equality of rights and opportunities. But some women take it overboard and do all sorts of things. I just
Okay.
wanted to put that out there. And yes, what I would like to say is that um, a woman is the bedrock of any society. And so she should be treated rightly, she should be treated fairly. Um, I want to say that something I really noticed, like, some months ago we had a lot of rape cases in Nigeria. I don't know whether you followed the news like
Yes,
about that.
I still accompany, always you have some news. You have some that are not even reported. Yes, some cases that are not
Yeah.
reported, yes.
So in that light, I just want to say that I've noticed that some people are in the habit of shaming the victims, both men and women, even gender specific, is both the men and women do that. Oh, what was she wearing? Why was she there at that time? Why did she follow him? And stuff like that. What I just want to say is that people need to be more careful when conveying such their messages, because I feel like even if you want to criticize someone, there are better ways of doing that. It should be constructive, because I've never seen a case whereby a guy, well, I'm not being biased here, but a guy buys a flashy car and flaunts it around on social media and in real life, and when he eventually gets robbed or something, I've never seen someone, oh yes, because you were busy flaunting it. Do you get the point? I don't see people shaming the person. Rather, they try to comfort him. So why don't they do the same with the rape victims? Do you understand? So I feel like we really need to look into this and really need to stop and act accordingly. The second thing is that we should try and encourage our girls to dream big and work hard to attain their goals. Um, and that would only I think a reasonable approach to that would be by giving them opportunities, both in terms of employment, education, decisions, and the likes. And I wish to say that Nigerian women are one of the most driven, innovative, and passionate women in Africa. All they need is a society that is supportive and less discriminatory in how it treats and caters to their well-being, goals, and aspirations. I feel like if that is done, because like maybe 50% of the Nigerian population, I think, is female. I think when we do that, we'll have a better society, a healthier society, which will in turn bring up good children, healthier children, and that in turn will make the society a better place to live, better for both sexes. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Excellent,
And
excellent.
respect above every other thing.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So
Yeah.
let's take let's say two comments here. We have Marafa, Nasir Marafa. That's our friend. That's our big friend. Nasir Marafa is the
Yeah.
boss.
Hi, Marafa.
Uh, how can you explain to your Nigerian men and women uh, the values learned in Brazil that you think can help to bring changes to how women can significantly help in building the nation? I think we've said
We've
something.
touched on
Yes, Marafa, we've said a little bit about that, So, and Malang Aminu Bello Gamawa, also our friend, he
Hi,
said
Aminu.
girls' education is very vital in my
Yeah,
country, Nigeria, because better educated women tend to be healthier, participate more in the labor market, earn higher incomes, have fewer children, marry at
I like
mature
this one.
age, and enable better health care and education for their children when they
Yeah,
become mothers. Talk more about this aspect. It is about bothers. It is what bothers Nigeria at the moment, especially in the northern part where we all came from. Okay.
yeah,
I
that is
think
true.
we've done, we've justified
We've
generally.
covered this as
Yeah,
well.
when you check the conversation, I think we've covered that also. I mean, yeah, we've covered that. I think uh, we need to not just, we are not talking about neglecting, our faith, our religions. We are not talking about that. But we're
Yeah,
talking about justice, a social justice. Okay, we're talking about
exactly.
trying to look into, some of the things, look into some of the things that we do in the society. Are they really worth it? Are we really helping ourselves? Okay, we're not talking about cultural let's say cultural influence here. We're talking about things that are healthy to the human. When we are talking about, for example, science, 1 plus 1 in all parts of the world is 2, right? Science is a universal language. When you're talking about uh, uh, culture, you have some specificities, some things that are very
Yeah,
specific. So, but we have things that can function in all the cultures because you have man and you have woman. Okay, in every society you have the man, you have woman. You don't have other, creatures in other cultures. You have men, women. So relationship
yeah, we have just two
relationship are
genders.
still the same. Okay, so we're talking about like openings. Okay, we're talking about openings. We're talking about inclusion, not just inclusion. Let's say justice. We're talking about justice. Okay,
Yeah, social
yeah, social
justice.
justice. Because by doing that, you are not just helping the society. You're helping everything. You are trying to uh, let's say ameliorate all the aspects of a society. Because when you have women participating in science, you have them participating in in even religion. You have them participate
Yeah,
in all spheres where they want to participate. If they decide we want to stay here, then let them be. But don't try to bar, don't try to stop them from doing what
like
they
they
want
should
to do.
have the freedom of choice, right? They shouldn't
Yes,
be boxed.
they should have
Yeah, be
freedom of
put in a
choice.
box.
They should be
Yeah, that's
educated.
right.
If she gets educated and she decides, no, I don't want this, then she will do anything.
Yeah,
But we are losing, important tools that can develop our societies. That is the inclusion. Where you have women, included in society, the efficiency is higher. Okay? Just look at the statistics. We're not talking about religion here. We're not talking about, values. We always discuss values, we as Nigerians. We want just to limit ourselves to just, oh, it's values, values, religion, value, culture. So just that.
yeah,
We're not thinking, of developing ourselves. And we're also not thinking that even the creator, he gave us the choice. It's either you go this way or go this way. There's no
yeah. That's
there's
true.
no obligation. Okay, so we enlarge a certain group of people to behave in a way Some of them don't like me. So that is very clear. Okay. So let's see if
Yeah.
we have
In
any
addition to
questions.
that,
Yeah.
I think like just like you rightly said, even when we eventually make the choice to follow some things, be it tradition, religion, or whatever the case may be, it shouldn't be blindly. We should be well aware of what we're doing. Should ask questions as to why, how, and be well aware of the decisions we're making. I saw Mr. Adeniran's
Yeah, yeah,
comment. Did you
he's
see it?
asking.
Why aren't
Well,
we
well
doing it in
done.
Portuguese?
All right, so the message is
Oh,
we're trying to send a message, to Nigeria. Maybe we're gonna find we're gonna have maybe another session, maybe
in Portuguese?
in future in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about
Uh-huh.
more inclusive message, include the Brazilians also. Okay, but we are trying to put across the message just to our fellow brothers back there in Nigeria. Okay, just giving our contribution. Okay, so we hope you are enjoying this session. Right. So Abigail, I don't know if we have other questions here.
Okay, I just want to suggest something. If there are any Brazilians who would like to ask anything in Portuguese, I think since we've already covered everything, we can speak Portuguese if there are Brazilians on here who would like to ask or
Yeah,
know something in case they're,
yeah, it's very interesting, the topic because it can
yeah,
be discussed both for because they have their own realities here. Okay, you have a kind of behavior. The male behavior is similar to the one you have in Nigeria, but the laws, as you said, you said earlier, Maria da Peña, it holds the men here, controls the men, so they
yeah,
always care to cross the bridge. But what we are advocating is that we don't want to get to this point in Nigeria. We can build a very exemplary society. We can build a society better than other places because, as I said earlier, we have different challenges of differences. We can build on that. Other people try to eliminate their own differences. Okay, they try to eliminate their differences.
yeah.
But in Nigeria, we cannot eliminate our differences. So we have to learn how to, live together. We need
In
to,
harmony, right?
huh? Yeah, in harmony.
Live together in harmony,
Of course, we have to learn to live in harmony. Here in Brazil, there's just one language, Portuguese. There's one language.
which is kind of weird, actually.
Yeah.
I find it really weird.
Although some of them say that they have they have over 200
The
native languages, right? The Tupis, I don't know. They have over 200 local languages. So I was asking, a friend, but I've never heard of that. So there was a day I was traveling. There was this family, this small family. They were talking. They were speaking. I knew it wasn't Spanish. I knew it wasn't Portuguese. Neither was it Italian. So I think this is one of the native languages. Okay, but they don't have these differences. If you go to the south, you can vote there. You can vote there. If you come to the north, you can transfer your voting. Your voting, your zone. You want to vote for the governor, for whatever, you can vote there. So they have this flexibility, and you can also win an election in a state that is not yours. You can run for a seat, you know, like let's say you are from Lagos in Nigeria. You go to Bauchi, for example. You can run for governorship in Bauchi. So they have this advantages, okay? They have these advantages. So they don't have these big differences that we have in Nigeria. So if we can
yeah,
if we can work on our differences, I think we can serve as examples to the world. We can observe as it's happening
True.
across the world. Okay? So that's nice. Adenira is with us. With us. Yes, I can hear. All right, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we
Thanks
should.
for being with us.
Yeah, I think we should round up because we've gone for an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. So if we can,
Conversation is really interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. But I
Yeah.
think we should maybe we should organize another live to talk a little bit about I don't know, life in Brazil. Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about life here because we can learn. We're not talking about, as I said, I'm also kind of a conservative. Okay, I conserve my culture. Okay,
Yeah.
I I am Zar by tradition, as you can see. Okay, I have this
Yes, we have.
on my wall. You know, I have this. Okay,
Uh,
but I also respect, you know, a kind of I respect, you know, if we learn, okay, there are some things that we can learn. We talk about the Greeks, right? When we say Greeks, oh, we talk about science. We talk about the Greeks. We talk about the Romans. We talk about, but how did they get that? How did they get that? It's not that everything was invented in Greece. Okay, they traveled to other places. They went to Egypt. They went to the Middle East. They went to lots of places. Okay, that the history doesn't show, and they gathered everything and took it to Greece. So you have
that's
this.
true.
Okay, and we are here because we want to learn something, and we have to send it back to our people. It's not that we come here, we
Yeah.
spend our time, and then we go back to Nigeria without telling them the good things we've seen here. Okay, it would be of disadvantage. And one of the things I think that is really nice is this relationship, you know, between uh, not just the relationship, but empowerment of women, the participation of women. Okay? The
Yeah.
university I studied here during my graduate level, the vice chancellor, that's what we say in Nigeria, right? Vice chancellor was a woman, okay? Very efficient, you know, university. And also my master degree was also a woman, okay? The directors, most of them were women. So very efficient,
Yeah.
okay? And they were there not just because they were appointed, it's because they were like, they are the best, okay? You go there to
Yeah.
solve the problem, okay? So we have some these advantages. Okay, we are not saying that we have to adopt the cultures of other people. We are not talking about that. We are talking about trying to see what is better for us. If we are able
Yeah.
to send, for example, this message back to the people there in Nigeria live, it's something good. People have mobile phones. They know that is something good. Okay, they have mobile phones. They have internet. Oh, internet is someone's culture. Mobile phone is someone's culture. I wouldn't accept that. So, fine, that's your problem. Okay. So we're not talking about cultural. We are not talking about someone's culture invading our own culture. We are talking about something that is good. Okay. So
Yeah.
I think I'm talking too much, but let's see.
No, I think you made some very valid points. Really.
Okay. So let's see. We don't have comments, but let's see who are watching us. Let's see if we have more people watching us. We have Ana Cleto Domingos. We have Gustavo. Gustavo, nice to have you here. We have Wesley Mesquita. It's also here. We have Yoyiro Felix also. Yoyiro, very nice to have you here with us. We have Graça Santos. Okay, Graça Santos, you're welcome. We have Ingrid Alves da Rocha is also with us. That's nice to hear from you, Ingrid. Okay, we have Ambi Mamunza also. That's my brother. So it's nice to have you. Very nice to have you with us. Okay. So guys, you can suggest if you really want us to discuss something, you can leave it in the commentary session. But we are rounding up this live. I want to thank Abigail Musa, for giving us a lecture. This topic
Lecture.
is really a very big topic. Okay, we didn't
Yeah.
chew it well enough, but we believe there are so many people who have studies about that. Okay, who really have things to develop more. What we have to do is to start talking about the issues that we have in the country. This is one of the important issues that we have to talk a little bit about. Okay, so thanks for your time, and see you in the next live. I believe. Okay, some of you can suggest if you like. Okay? So thank you, Abigail. Right.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, that's nice. Okay, so see you guys. We're out.
Bye. Peace out.